Namo Ramana. Prostrations to Ramana, shining as the self in all beings. By the immense grace of the self, manifest as Ramana, we in this sharing will be meditating on some of the teachings of Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi, and probably we will unravel the mystery of the title as we go on. Neelaravinda Suhrida Sadrisham Prasade Tulyam Tatha Mahasi Toyaja Bandhavi Brahmya Sitautu Pitaram Vatamulavasam Samsmarayantam Achalam Tam Anusmarama. இன்றகம் என்னும் நினைவெனிற்பிற ஒன்றும் இன்றது வரை பிற நினைவெழிலார்கேற்கு ஒன்றகமுதிதலம் எதுவென உள்நாழ்ந்து உளத்து விசுரின் ஒரு உடை நிழற்கோவே இன்றகம் புறம் இரு வினை இரல் ஜன்மம் இன்பு துன்பிருள் ஒளி எனும் கன இதயம் மன்றமச்சலம் நடமிடும் வருட மலையனும் எலையரும் அருளொளி கடலே. The question of being an emperor, the question of ruling is a question of ruling. Someone who is ruling over someone else or something else, over a kingdom. Obviously, someone who is in control of his or her subjects, his or her territory. Such a one, we can say, is a king or an emperor. So, the point is being in control. So let's begin from there. How important is being in control for every one of us? Do we want to be in control of someone or something in our lives, or don't we want to? In fact, if I were to say, everyone who wants to be in control of someone or something, please send me the hands, raise hand signal, then I might get too many of such raised hands. So I will just say, if anyone over here in this lovely gathering today is not interested in being controlled over anything at all, then such a one may raise his or her hand. Is there anyone among us who Who does not want to be in control? Is there anyone? I doubt if there is. Should I wait for a minute for somebody to raise their hand? I don't think I'm going to get anyone who says, I'm not absolutely not interested in controlling anyone or anything. We want to be in control of our lives. We want to be in control of our body. We want to be in control of all our sensations. We want to be in control of our minds. If possible, we would like to control all the people around us in some way or the other. In fact, each one of us in this way wants to be a ruler or a king, at least over our own kingdom, which is, say, to begin with our body. And the next, as I said, over our mind. Are we kings or queens when it comes to our own body, what we call our own body? Are we kings or queens when it comes to what we call our own mind? Many of us have strived to go through practices so that we can control the mind. Many of us are maybe practicing several disciplines to keep in control the body, to keep in control the breath. Because if we don't do so, what will happen? If we do not keep things in control with reference to the body or the breath or the mind, they will just go haywire. They may go haywire. This is our fear, and sometimes not only our fear, sometimes a reality as well. So, if you or I want to be a single emperor, if we want to be a single emperor, who is in control of the entire world, to begin with, we have to be in control of our own world, or if not our own world, we have to be in control of our own body and mind. But that is not the case, as we see. Body is not at all under our control. Even if someone is ruling the entire universe, is he or she in control of his or her own body? Not so, because there is no guarantee of even the next breath coming or not coming. So, there is on the one hand a desire to rule, to control. And there is on the other hand the seeming reality where there is no control. See, the fact that we want to control everything, there is a Nobel laureate, the author's name is Golding. He's written a play, he's written a novel, a fiction, which of course was not his Nobel Prize winning fiction, but another one. It's called The Lord of the Flies. The Lord of the Flies. In that story, he creates a situation where a group of school children are marooned in an island. So there is no adult with them. What happens is their ship gets wrecked, and the few adults who are traveling in the ship with them, they all drown. So only these children have somehow come to safety in an uninhabited island. There's no one other than them on that island. But there are other living beings. There are animals, and there is the sea. And the sea, there are living beings in the sea. And this story begins to explore how these children behave when there are no adults. But how they start seeking power, controlling each other, trying to control each other, trying to control the animals over there in the island, trying to control even the small sea creatures, maybe like snails or worms, even the smallest, even the youngest among the children, how they seek to control. So there is a need to control. There is a need to control our own destinies. And therefore, there is the unending, the metaphysical debate, the unending metaphysical debate as to which is greater is fate greater, or is free will greater? Does man have free will? So why do we need free will? For what purpose do we need free will? In order to be able to control our own destinies. Otherwise, why do we need free will? If we are told that somebody is taking care of everything for us, are we satisfied? In fact, Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi told his mother Alagamma, she had come to take him back home or try to take him back home. He had left home with a note saying, don't even search for this, calling his body this. Don't even search for this. It has left with a good purpose, on a good enterprise. Don't waste any money looking for this. But could the mother keep quiet? In her anguish to find her son, she searched high and low, and finally, by his very grace, came to know he's in Tiruvannamalai as a sadhu. And she came and was shocked to see him the way he was. His body was literally covered with grime and dust. His hair was matted. His nails were long and curled. Food, she could see he was not interested in food. Maybe somebody brought something and gave it to him and he ate. A mother, seeing her child like this, she was shocked and she pleaded with him, she cajoled him, she tried her best to persuade him to return home with her, saying even, I will take care of you. We will not disturb your tapas, but we will take care of you. That is how each one of us are. It is not surprising that the mother said that. How many things we believe we can take care of. How many people we believe we can take care of. How much we believe the world is dependent on us. So, mother also said, I will take care of you, you come back. But Bhagavan was silent as the rocks of Arunachala, unmoving like the rocks of Arunachala. And then one of the devotees requested him, please at least write something for mother. And then he wrote, that was the first Upadesha from Bhagavan Ramana. And he wrote saying, Avarar Prapta Pragaram Madar Kanavan Aangang Irundu Aatuvipan. According to their destinies. The one who is meant to take care, the one who is there to dispense of the results of their destinies. Adarkanavan, the one whose role it is to dispense the fruits of the actions. Such a one, such a one remaining in every place, in every, you can say in every atom, remaining everywhere. He is moving the lives of all the people. He is actually holding them, you can say, like puppets. He is playing out their lives. And therefore, nadavadadu muyatchikkinum nadavadu. That which is not to happen will not happen, no matter what effort you may put in to try to make it happen. நடப்பது என் தடை செய்யினும் நில்லாது. That which has to happen will not stop, cannot be stopped. No matter what obstacles you will try to put in the path of that happening, that the movement of that force cannot be stopped. இதுவே திண்ணம், this is certain. ஆதலின், therefore, what is the course then? If everything is happening as it should happen, மௌனமாய் இருத்தல் நன்று. To remain silent is the best course. That is the best course of action. And what does that silence mean? What does that silence mean? See, Mother Alagammal was not one who did not know the meaning of silence. That's why he told her it is good to remain silent. She was a tapaswini. She had practiced the dhyana of the Aham Brahmasmi mantra, properly initiated into it by one Tulasi Amma. And such a Mahamantra, the Mahavakya, she was meditating upon that. Apart from that, she would sing many spiritual songs of Vedanta by Audiyakka and other Vedantic songs. So she was very aware of the Vedantic teachings, and that silence was what he told her to get back to accept, of course, the fact that she could not get him to go back. That was the first point which she had to understand. But then the course of events in her life, if we look at that, soon, not soon, I mean a few years, within a few years of her returning home, her eldest son Nagaswami passed away. The younger son Nagasundaram was there, but he, no matter how he tried, he could not get himself a good job. He could not make ends meet. So they were living in penury. So where was the question of mother taking care of anyone? Somebody had to take care of her. That is how the life situations were not at all in control in that sense. And being a tapaswini, she would have understood. And she did understand, and she decided that my place is with my son in Tiruvana. She came, she surrendered to him. The course of actions, Bhagavan says, the course of the events in our lives, destined to happen. Even to accept this statement is very difficult for us. But what happens if we do accept this statement is what Bhagavan says. He says, if one surrenders to the Supreme, if one offers everything to the Supreme, உன்னிடத்தில் ஒப்புவித்த உள்ளத்தால், if one gives one's heart to the Supreme with the awareness that everything is taken care of by him in any case, if one offers one's heart to him, then what happens? உன்னிடத்தில் ஒப்புவித்த உள்ளத்தால், எப்பொழுதும், at all times, உன்னை கண்டெல்லாமும் உன்னுருவாய். At that time, what happens is that everything is seen as you. எல்லாமும் உன்னுருவாய் அந்நியமில் அன்பு செய்யும். Without any second, without any other, the love pours forth. Normally we imagine that love is towards somebody else, towards something else, towards an object. But Bhagavan is saying, அந்நியமில் அன்பு செய்யும். A love which has nothing apart from it. Because everything is only that one supreme being. Such a one. Unknown Arunachala. Well, he is victorious. He has conquered. இன்புருவாமுன்னில் ஆழ்ந்தே. He has conquered everything. But then, if one is not ready to surrender, if one cannot accept the fact that everything is taken care of, if one cannot rejoice in the fact that everything is taken care of, because actually, why does that become victory? Because there is absolute freedom. And Bhagavan says that is actually abiding in one's own true state. Krityamasti kim swastitim yataha. What is there for such a one to do? If one is abiding in one's own true nature, having completely surrendered to the one who is taking care of the world, if there is a world. But then, says Bhagavan, we are saying surrender to the Supreme One. But who is to surrender? Who is the one to surrender? Who is aware of this world that is consisting of the same supreme power, that is enveloped by that supreme power in which everything is included and sustained? Who is the one who says this? Who is the one who sees this world? If you inquire, says Bhagavan Ramana, then you will understand that this whole panorama, this action, this control, this result, and the cause, all this is coming into existence because of one entity. And that entity is the ego or the I thought, aham. இன்றகம் என்னும் நினைவெனிற் பிற ஒன்றும் இன்றது வரை. If there is no I thought, there is nothing else. There is no world, there is no other, there is nothing else that is there, either to react to or interact with or to control. See, there is the entire concept of controlling, the entire concept of ruling can only come into being when there is duality. If we say there is an emperor, as I said when I started out, the emperor must have something to rule. If I say I must control my body, I must be in control of my body, it automatically implies that I and my body are different from each other. That's why I say I would like to control my body. I would like to control my breath. See, if I and my breath are one and the same, where's the question of my controlling my breath? If I and my mind are one and the same, where's the question of my controlling my mind? If I and myself are one and the same, I must control myself. I must control myself, we say sometimes, right? I must control my emotions. Everything. I don't know how come these thoughts come to me. I don't know how come it runs berserk my mind. So that means there are two entities. It is not one. And there are two entities. When there are two entities, there will be multiple entities. So the entire panorama of the multitudes of universes. They now call it multiverses, not even the universe, because universe means one, uni is one. So there are many universes. So there are so many phenomena that we cannot even imagine. And within one earth, there are so many millions of types of living beings, millions of stars, millions of living beings on this one earth. And then if we go into our own body, millions of living cells, millions of cells moving, some coming into being, some moves, being sustained, some getting destroyed, going away, going out, the out breath, everything, something's going out of the out breath, going out of the sweat, going out with many kinds of the 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 body throwing out whatever it doesn't need. It goes out away from the body, coming in, going out, right? So many millions of phenomena that actually, even if you take one single cell within the body, it will have so many millions of atoms, such a multitude of phenomena. But only one ego, only one I thought, which conceives of, comprehends, no matter how many million phenomena are there, it comprehends. It is able to comprehend, I know this, I don't know this, but that exists and I don't know it. It divides, it assimilates, it does all kinds of activities that one ego, that one I. And Bhagavan says, when that is not there, let us say that it is not there. We know that it is not there. Every day, in deep sleep, disappears. So at that time, we know that none of this exists. This world does not exist. For us, it does not exist. There is no world. So, inraham enum ninaivenil pira ondrum inradu varai. Until the time when this I thought arises, no other thought is there. The universe itself is not there. In Saddarshanam, Bhagavan says, Dhiya sahodeti dhiyastameti lokastato dhi pravibhasya yeshaha. Although it looks as if the world and the ego or the mind, dhi, rise and subside at the same time, that is not the case. The world is lighted by the mind. Dhiloka janmakshaya dhama purnam tadvastu janmakshaya shunyamekam. So, that one ego is the one who creates this whole world. If that is the case, that one ego must be the emperor of the entire world, which that ego has created. But the ego creating this world of divisions makes itself subject also to some other powers. Always it is feeling worried that it will be subject to something else. It will be controlled by something else. And finally, that it will be controlled by death. It is always living in fear, although it is the creator of this entire universe. So it is never an emperor. It is always a slave. And there is no, as Vasudevji said, we have talked about the Sarvabhauma. We address Sri Ramchandra Murthy as a Sarvabhauma. Okay, so the Sarvabhauma, the single emperor, this ego, this puny being, is having made itself a puny being, having created a magnificent world, having actually creating every day when it wakes up a magnificent world, it makes itself puny. So how is it to enjoy the freedom or the power of being a single emperor? Is it possible? When it is absolutely puny and it is there subject to all the laws which it creates, and if the duality looks to be real, then of course it is subject to the one supreme force which is creating everything. How is this little ego to become free, to become the emperor, the single emperor? Is such a scenario ever possible? And Ramana Maharshi says, yes, it is possible. You are that single emperor. You are that sole emperor of the entire universe. When you inquire into the nature of the ego, Bhagavan says, இன்றகம் எனும் நினைவெனிற் பிற ஒன்றும் ஈன்றது வரை நினைவெழில் ஆர்க்கு ஏற்கு என்று அகம் உதித்தலம் எதுவென உள்ளாந்து ஊழத்துவி சுரின். This he says, if நினைவெழில், if a thought should arise, if any thought should arise, no matter what the thought, good, bad, indifferent, bad thought, don't start getting worried. Oh, such a bad thought has come to me. I should have controlled it. I should have done away with it. I should have never given room to this bad thought. A good thought comes. Don't get carried away with it, saying, what a lovely thought. It's really a blessed thought. It's very good, and don't get excited about it. Sometimes indifferent thoughts, meaningless thoughts, thoughts which have no relevance to our lives keep coming up in the mind. So don't worry. Ninaivedil, when any thought arises, let it be any thought. Ask yourself, for whom is this thought? For whom is this thought? Otherwise you ask yourself, from where is this thought coming up? From where is this thought coming? Is it entering me from somewhere outside? Many of us, we like to say that, actually, the reason for thoughts is the fact that external phenomena exist. The moment I see something, I get a thought about it. The moment I hear something, I get a thought about it. But actually, if we are little aware of our own minds and our thoughts, even if we spend a few minutes watching our thoughts, we will know that 90% of them have no connection to the immediate phenomena we are experiencing. If we are that, actually, it's a fairly blessed state to be very much in the now, just aware of what we are seeing, just aware of what we are hearing. That itself is a sadhana, that itself is a spiritual practice. To be in the now, in the physical now I'm talking about, not in the real now. The physical now, if one can stay in the physical now, 100% focused to the physical now, that is a meditative way of life. Most of us are not blessed in that way. We may get thoughts of any kind, of anything. And when one thing is happening in front of our eyes, something else is running in the mind. Something else, even about that one thing in front of our eyes, we don't see it, we think about it. So the mind is running. So Bhagavan says, ask yourself, for whom is this thought? And where from is this thought coming? Is it coming from outside? No, it's not coming. It's coming from somewhere within me. How come? What is the source of this thought? Where from is this thought arising? What is the power that makes this thought possible? Either one can inquire for whom is this thought, in which case the answer will come. It is for me. The thought is for me. But who am I? Who am I? Who am I who is aware of this thought? When we are aware of thoughts, then we have the feeling, we have an identity that I am a thinker. When we see something, we have an identity, I am a seer. When we hear something, we have an identity, I am a listener. When any of the sense experiences are happening, we have the identity, I am the enjoyer of that sense experience. But that comes and goes, right? When I'm not seeing, I cannot be a seer. When I'm not listening, I cannot be a listener. And if I am not thinking, then can I be a thinker? What happens to me in the absence of thoughts? Who am I? When one goes to that question, to the root question, and tries to see who is this I who seeks to control everything in life, who seeks to control, because the fact that a thought arises in the mind means that we seek to control something or the other. Seek to control meaning to say even a desire is a need to control, because if I want to taste something, I am assuming that I am capable of that action and capable of securing that result and capable of enjoying that result. So every thought which arises in the mind is a need to control. So this is who is doing all this? Who is this I who is constantly seeking to control something or the other? Who is this I? We can ask ourselves this question, says Ramana Bhagavan. Ask yourself. Or else you ask yourself, from where? From where does this thought arise? From where does this I itself arise? What is it? What is it from which it is arising? From where? If I were to say, from where does a mud pot arise? I can say that the mud pot arises from the mud, from the earth. It is made of the mud. If I were asked from where does the golden ornament arise, I can say that the golden ornament arises from gold. It is sustained in gold. And if the ornament is melted away, then it will dissolve into gold. So where from does this I arise? Where from do these thoughts arise? Within us, we experience, we always believe, and we have habituated ourselves to believing that the I exists within this body, and all experiences are happening within this body. So within ourselves, let us have a look. Let us search. Let us seek and find out where from within us are these thoughts arising. And if we seek thus, if we either seek whence, or if we seek who am I, Ulat Visurin. If you do vichara within the mind, if self-inquiry is conducted within the mind, something happens, says Ramana. If this inquiry is conducted within the mind, something happens. உளத்து விசுரின் ஒரு குடை நிழற் கோவே. You become the sole emperor of the entire universe. You become the sole emperor of the entire universe. You or I, who have subjected ourselves to such abject slavery to every thought of ours, we become free. We become not just free, we become the supreme emperor, because the truth is non-dual. There is no division in it. Oru kudai, there is only one supreme entity. And we become one. Don't become one. We are that entity. So, oru kudai nidar kove. And he says, this is a state in which there is no duality. That you can only be a single emperor if there is no duality. In any situation where there is duality, the power of one force or one person is always subject to being challenged by someone else or something else. Even natural forces, such as water and fire, fight each other. They are contra to each other. They are great powers, such great powers, right? But they fight each other. I mean, they are contradictory to each other. So when there is anything that is limited, it cannot be the sole power. So when there is something which is undivided, which is unlimited, unbound, which is actually the very self, our own true nature, just getting back there makes us remain as the supreme emperor of what kind of a kingdom, says Ramana? In that kingdom, in Raham Puram, there is no in and out. There's no division at all. In Raham Puram. Indru aham within, Puram outside. There is no inside or outside. So there's no division. It's not like I am in control of that which is within me, but not in control of that which is outside of me. Because there is no such division. In Raham Puram, Iru Vijay, there are no past and future. There is no fate and free will. There are no contradictory forces. Iral Janmam, there is no birth. There is no becoming. Inbu, Tumbu, there is no sorrow, there is no pleasure. Inbu, Tumbu. Yenum Gana Hidayam. It is that saturated force of the heart, saturated with bliss. Ghana idayam. Ghana, absolutely saturated with bliss, absolutely saturated with peace, absolutely saturated with love. Ghana idayam. That is our heart. And what happens there? What is enjoyed in that kingdom? What is enjoyed by that single ruler, that sole ruler of that kingdom? That sole ruler of the kingdom is actually Man Raham Achalama Nadamidum. That is Arunachala, he says in that Ashtakam. That is Arunachala. It is dancing. It is dancing in stillness, because there's nowhere else to move. But that is a beauty, because it is so vibrant. Bhagavan says it is dancing to bring home to us that this experience is not dull, it is not passive. It is not something which is a mere absence of thoughts. It is dynamic. It is full of absolute vibrance. So, achalam in man raham achalama nadamidum aruna malayanum yelayarum arul oli kadale. This is the boundless ocean of the light of grace. The boundless ocean of the light of grace, says Bhagavan. So he says, if one is really wanting to be in control, there are apparently two ways to be in control. One is to completely give up all need for controlling anything or anything. Completely surrender. Muruganar Swami, he says, I have understood that I cannot do anything. I cannot think of anything. I cannot do anything. I cannot achieve anything. It's all you. So I have said, okay, you take care, because I am not capable of anything in any case. If I was capable of doing something, then I should try. I should worry about it. So I am nothing and can nothing do, he says. Yennale yadundrum iyalladendrunnidate yen kadamai ellam ஏப்பித்தேனே என்னாலே யாதொன்றும் இயலாது. I cannot do anything. I cannot achieve anything at all. Therefore, I have given all my duties to you. You take care, you do as you please. What happens then is, as Bhagavan said, you realize that Tvayarpita manasa tvam pashyan sarvam tavakrititaya satatam. Bhajate ananya pritya sajayati arunachala. Such a one becomes victorious. The one who surrenders everything becomes victorious. Because he surrenders to that one power, that oru kodai needed kove. Only to that one power. When everything is surrendered. Because what is there actually when one thinks there is duality, then Bhagavan says surrender, surrender. See, everything is at one power. And then automatically, gradually, one will become, one gets the sense of separateness, the need for power, that slowly begins to get eroded and then disappears. But if one inquires, then what does one discover? One discovers, Bhagavan says in the Saddarshanam, in the 40 verses, says, see, if you are looking at a world, if you think, then you will find a world. So, he says, Namulaham kandalal nanavan shaktiyula or mudalai vappal oru thalayye. Sarvair nidhanam jagatohamaschaha vachah prabhu kachit apara shakti. A power which is unlimited. You have to pause it. If you see the world, or since we are seeing a world, says Ramana in that, now Ulam Kandalal, because I am seeing something called a world, then I have to say, oh, there is this great power. There is this limitless power which has created this world, which is sustaining this world, which is sometimes destroying a part of the world. All these processes are happening simultaneously. all powered by that great force. Kaschid apara Shakti, some limitless, some thing which we cannot even comprehend. Kaschid something. Nanavan Shakti Uda Ormudal. It has multiple powers. Ormudal. There is one supreme power which is having many, many powers, multiple powers, and it is responsible for this universe. But I will tell you a secret, says Ramana. Chitretralokyam cha vilokita cha patah prakashopyabhavatsa eka. See this, the secret is this movie, this world movie, which you are seeing, no? Chitretralokyam, the one who sees also. Cha vilokita cha chitretralokyam, the world which is seen, cha vilokita cha, the one who is seeing. Pataha, the screen on which it is seen. If there is a movie, there has to be a basis, there has to be an adhara for everything to be seen, on which all this world picture is being played out. Prakash, or the light which allows you to see. All are only one. Chittiramum serpadamum Chittiramum kanbanum serpadamum maroliyum attanayum tanamavan. Everything is only one. There is no division. How can it be? But the self. Call it the self. Call it the Lord. Call it that supreme force. It is grace. Arul Oli Kadale. Arul. It is the ocean of grace. So it always gives us numberless clues to get back to our own true nature. Very simple clues. If we look at our daily experience of waking, then we say that, oh, we are capable of knowing, we are capable of assimilating, we are the powerful ones for acting. Then we go to our dream sleep. What happens to everything? What happens to this waking world? What happens to this waking world which seems so important when we are awake? Just disappears. Just disappears. But there's another world. And that world, who is the emperor of that world? Who is the maker of that world? Who is the sustainer of this world? Who is the destroyer of that world? It is only the individual. Very clearly, it is only I. In my dream world, I am all this. I have created all this. In fact, everything is only this mind. Everything is only the consciousness in which all these are playing out. Just as in a physical movie, everything is only light. There is a hero, there is a villain, there are trees, there are beautiful pictures, there are ugly pictures, there are fight scenes, there is action, or there are emotions, so many things. But it's all only light. There's nothing apart from light in the entire movie. Similarly, there's only the light of the mind. When we are in the dream, there's only the light of the mind. And in deep sleep, it disappears. And Ramana says, nobody on that account says, I disappeared. I didn't exist in deep sleep. Nobody says that. Nobody says, I didn't exist in deep sleep. So where from does this entity arise? When we wake up, inquire, says one. Get back, inquire. There seems to be a mysterious entity which has arisen. Mysterious because the self is not declaring Sato na janma. The self is not never born. It does not say, I was born on such and such a date, I am now living, whatever happening is happening to me. It is not saying Deho na janati. And the body doesn't know. It is jada. It cannot say. It does not say anything. The self also doesn't say anything. But there is someone, apparently someone who is saying, I am this body, I am this, I am that, I am been born, etc. Who is saying, Deha pramanonya udeti madhye aham kriti granthi vibandha sukshma sharira cheto bhav jivanama देहो न जानाति सतो न जन्म देह प्रमाणोन्य उदेति मध्ये within the pramana, within the boundary of the body, some kind of entity arises, a mysterious entity arises. That entity is called the Aham Kriti Granthi. That entity is called the knot. The Granthi means a knot which is binding the self and the body. It's a mysterious knot, and this, like any other knot, if you unravel the knot disappears. So if one unravels this granthi called the ego, which is superimposing the qualities of the self on the body, apparently doing all this. This I, this granthi, which is apparently doing all this, which is apparently hiding behind every experience, when one questions it, disappears. It disappears because it does not have an independent existence. Does not have an independent existence. And the self is ever available. It doesn't come into being sometime later. It's ever available. Never goes away, says Bhagavan. If you take the golden ornaments, the example we looked at earlier, the golden ornaments. So, does the gold ever go away from the golden ornaments? Does the gold even become the ornaments? The gold does not become the ornament. If the gold becomes the ornament, then the ornament disappears. The gold must disappear. Gold remains as gold only, whether you make it into an ornament or whether you melt it. The gold always remains as gold. The gold never becomes anything else. The self never becomes anything else. There is, the ornament is an appearance because it appears in time and it disappears in time. That which appears and disappears, we call a dream, isn't it? Why do we call a dream a dream? We don't call a dream when we are dreaming. We call a dream when we finish dreaming, when we wake up, when the dream comes to an end. Oh, it's over, it was only a dream. So, when something gets over, then we say that was only a dream. But when we know that everything gets over, all phenomena, everything in the realm of duality comes to an end, it changes. Yet, we attribute permanence to all these things. And by attributing permanence to all this, we subject ourselves to their power over us. Far from being a sole emperor, we become slaves to multiple kings. Multiple kings. Every thought which arises, every thought, we actually depend on that to fetch us our happiness, to give us something. We begin to depend on that. We make that into an emperor. Every thought of ours, every desire of ours. And when the whole lot is thrown away or cut asunder through the power of inquiry, then we return to our true state of the absolute, the boundless Shakti, the power of the self, says Bhagavan. This is his statement in one of his compositions, Arunachala Ashtakam. Arunachala Ashtakam. And in the penultimate, in the 7th verse, he gives us this secret. He says, why don't you get back your sovereignty? And a sovereignty which cannot be questioned. And when we look at him, we see what kind of an emperor is that Jivan Mukta. What kind of an emperor who cannot be controlled or touched by anything in the world. Not the body, not the state of the body. He was there in Patala Lingam. Vermin were eating his thighs and then he was in bliss. And later years, the cancer was eating away his arm. With so much of pain that he said that it's like 1,000 elephants are trampling on the arm. And yet, in that bliss, absolute, Mandraham Achalama Nadamidum Aruna Malayan Yalaya Arulodi Kadaleya. The dance of that bliss in him was happening. So one of our favorite stories, often I think Ujwal also shares it, that of a young girl who came to Ramana when he was suffering from sarcoma. And she felt that it's not possible for any human being to be so peacefully seated in the grip of this dreaded disease. So she thought he's play acting, if it is possible to play act. But she's a little girl, about 12 years old, and she thought he's play acting. He wants to act as if he's untouched by all this. But there will be a moment when that veneer drops, that mask drops, and I will see him in pain. So she was blessed to keep on watching him. She watched him every day from morning till evening during darshan time for several days, and she did not find even one moment when Bhagavan was not exuding that same peace and that same joy. So he was not controlled by the body. He was not controlled by any emotion. In his poem, Ganapati Muni says, Vita Ragamapi Lokavatsalam. Vitaragamapi lokavatsalam devatamshamapi namracheshtitam shaktimantamapi shanti samyutam bhaktimantamapi bhedavarjitam vitaragamapi lokavatsalam devatamshamapi namracheshtitam. He has no attachments with the ragam. Yet, Lokavatsalam, showering love on the entire universe. Shaktimantam, that soul emperor, that Sarvabhauma, that soul emperor. But he is not at all corrupted by that power, no thought of that power, no need to use that power, full of peace. Shaktimantamapi shanti samyutam. A power which does not need any expression of itself. There is no need to know anything, there's no need to control anything, there's no need to do anything. That Shaktimantamapi shanti samyutam. Full of devotion to the Supreme, yet no sense of difference. Vitaragamapi lokavatsalam. Without any attachment, yet loving the entire universe. Devatamsham, God incarnate. Namracheshtita, but very, very humble in his actions, in his behavior. Absolutely as if he is the meekest of the meek, the lowest of the low. In Arunachala Aksharamanamala, he says of Arunachala, male, male, thandidum melliyar sendani menmayutrane in Arunachala. You, Arunachala, you always keep the company of those who are humbler than the humblest. And by doing so, you have attained glory, you have attained greatness. So that is the kind of emperor that he is. That is the kind of emperor. If we look at it from the point of view of devotion, that is the kind of emperor whom God is. He does not force himself upon anyone or anything. He does not force himself even upon us, either to love him or to surrender him. He just waits. That is his love. We can love him at any point of time. We can surrender him to him at any point of time. It is available. That power is available for us always. So that is that great supreme power. If we look at it as the Supreme Lord, Arunachala, give it any name. Or if we, of course, turn back through inquiry and look within and discover for ourselves the true source that is all enveloping, that is available to us from moment to moment, that is available to us here and now, whenever we wish to turn back to it and experience its bounty. Om Namo Bhagavate Shivaya.